Hey everybody, welcome back to Horror Trans. Yes, buddy, I'm coughing. This is my cat over here. Um, Transgender woman, I talk about all things horror. Today we're talking about horror icon Steven Spielberg, the motherfucking legend himself. Now, I don't have to tell you who Steven Spielberg is because you've seen at least 30 of his movies, even if you didn't know they were his. Because, like, almost every movie that's ever been made that was good, he was involved in one way or another. But he doesn't just do family-friendly sci-fi blockbuster action adventure, fairy tales. Sometimes he dabbles in horror. And I say dabbles in when he does horror. It's a goddamn masterpiece. Every fucking time. Like, horror is not his main thing. He doesn't have a thing. His thing is Steven Spielberg. He's like fucking God in human flesh. He's the fucking avatar of whatever God you want to believe in. He got his start not only with his first big movie being literally the first, or widely regarded as the first summer blockbuster ever, and also one of the most financially successful movies of the decade, of the 1970s, until, Star Wars came along right behind it. And it was a fucking horror movie to boot. So he came out swinging. Not only did he came out and say, I'm inventing a whole new thing and it's going to change society and you bitches are just going to fucking deal with it. When he created the summer blockbuster, perfected the summer blockbuster, and then gave us 75 more summer blockbusters to just, enjoy. But also, it happened to be a damn good horror movie. And yeah, it's a killer shark movie, but it's probably the only good killer shark movie ever made. Not to say the other ones aren't fun and enjoyable in their own way, but this one is a legit good movie. Well written, pretty good special effects for the time, mind you. And I say pretty good, not amazing, because the shark looks like ass. But they know this, and they don't overuse the shark. Scary as fuck, especially when you're a little kid, and you're like, I don't want to go to the ocean, or the lake, or the swimming pool, or anywhere where there might be sharks, ever again, thank you very much. And he made one of the best horror movie, one of the most iconic horror movies ever made, and then he's like, alright, he handed the baton off to his buddy, Lucas, who went and did Star Wars, and, they came together. The two forces came together and gave us Indiana Jones, and then he did E.T. and some other movies. He did a few other movies. And then he said, you know what? Jaws made me rich. Let's try again. And he decided to do another horror movie. And I believe it was 1982, the same year he did E.T., and the same year the universe decided to bless y'all with my presence, because that's the year I was born. He gave us Poltergeist. Now, there are movies that are Steven Spielberg movies where he was, in the director's chair calling the shots, and there were movies that are Steven Spielberg movies where he was the guy signing the paychecks, but also, calling the shots. This is one of those movies, allegedly. Poltergeist. I say allegedly because there's some contention over whether or not Tobe Hooper actually directed the movie, or if Spielberg ghost directed the movie. And yes, I know it's kind of a pun because it's a ghost movie. But anyways. Is it a pun? I don't know. Anyways. Up until I saw Hereditary, earlier this year, or late last year, whenever it was, Poltergeist was the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen. So again, not only did he give us banger after banger after banger in the sci-fi family-friendly action-adventure blockbuster realm, the genre he literally created, he turned around and gave us another banger horror movie, which was also one of the scariest fucking movies ever made. Poltergeist is one of those movies I have a complicated relationship with because I fucking love it, but I also fucking hate it at the same time. I love it because it's a great movie, it's iconic, it's scary as shit, it's well done. The special effects are fucking rubbish, but we don't need to shit on it. It was 1982, for God's sake. You know, you can't blame them for that. They didn't have anything better. There are some believable, passable special effects shots in this movie, but anytime you see one of the ghosts, it looks like shit. It doesn't even look as good as Ghostbusters, but that came out 2 years later, so, you know, the technology wasn't even there yet. Remember, they were inventing this stuff as they went along. Literally inventing it as they went along. So, great movie. The man is a horror legend already, and he's only got 2 horror movies under his belt. And then in 1993, you know, he's like, all right, we did Indiana Jones a couple of times. We did some Star Wars. Well, he didn't, but his friend did. He's like, we did E.T., you know, Poltergeist was fun. He did, in 1984, I backtracked. I skipped one. He did another banger of a horror movie, once again, Gremlins. Greatest fucking monster movie ever made. I'll die on that hill. I've already reviewed Gremlins. I fucking love it. It's one of my top 5 fucking movies. Like, just straight up movies of all time. I watch it like 12 times a year. I love Gremlins. I have the theme song to Gremlins on my daily playlist I listen to because it's that fucking awesome. I love Gremlins to death. And Gremlins is like Steven Spielberg 101. It's like, how do you make a Steven Spielberg movie? Oh, Gremlins. That's how you make a Steven Spielberg movie. Got it. Fucking fantastic. So now he's got 3 banger horror movies under his belt, and he's not even a horror filmmaker. And then I backpedal a little bit. In 1993, he said, you know what? Let's try making a monster movie. And he gave us Jurassic Park. And the rest is history. And he will be among the greatest horror filmmakers of all time. And he's not even a fucking horror filmmaker. He's just that goddamn good at film. Whatever, he says, I want to make a rom-com. And he goes and makes the greatest rom-com ever made. He's like, I think I want to make a police procedural. And he makes the greatest police procedural to ever grace the earth. He's that goddamn good of a filmmaker. Whatever he does, it's going to be worth a shit. You know. Damn legend among horror fans. Poltergeist, Gremlins, Jaws, Jurassic Park, and a few others. But Jesus Christ. I mean, those movies are all in everybody's top list. Top 50, top 100, top 10, whatever. I mean, more than one of his movies is going to top more than one of your lists. It just is. You can't make a top anything list without Steven Spielberg's name coming up. You can't do it.